Welcome to Keeping 100 Oklahoma High School Sports Today. We're kind of changing it up. I don't have Big E sitting next to me. We're doing a Zoom. We got my main man with OSSAA joining us today, Mr. Todd Goolsby. He's going to talk about what's going on. I told you folks, we will bring you the details of what's going on with high school wrestling, with the girls, with the boys, and with basketball. He's going to show it because I talked to him the other day, and he said, Tony, you give these people fake news. He want to give you guys the correct what's going on with the regionals, the state, dual state, and all that. So, folks, we're going to have Todd. How you doing this evening, Todd?
I'm doing well. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, we're glad you could join us on this Tuesday afternoon. I know you're still at the office putting work in, man. With everything going with COVID, it's been a tough year, from football to basketball to all the other sports. I know last year, we got to finish wrestling, but you didn't get to do baseball or basketball. So I know all these folks that, the kids that play these sports and their seniors this year, they want to get this season in. So before we get going, Mr. Goolsby, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, this is my 6th year in an assistant in the role as an assistant director. My activities are in the fall. I have volleyball. I have academic bowl that bleeds into the winter where I have wrestling. And then in the spring, I have boys and girls soccer. So each of us here at the association that serve as assistants have a fall, winter, and spring activity that we oversee. And those are my areas that I focus on throughout the year.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, before you kind of got into OSSAA, what did you do? What high school did you attend? Some people tell me you're at Dell City. I don't know what they call them over there. Dell City is the Beagles, Chickens. What are they called?
Well, I would tell you, once an Eagle, always an Eagle. So 1983 Dell City graduate, attended at the time, it was Central State University. It is now University of Central Oklahoma, as we all know. I graduated from there with a marketing degree, and quite frankly, didn't use that degree at all. I went to work in the oil field at that time for 5 years. And while the oil field has been good to many people, it just isn't for everybody. And that was me. I was fortunate to have married in that 5-year period an educator, which is what I had wanted to do from the get-go, but I didn't. However, I did and was afforded the opportunity to go back and earn the necessary requirements to get into education. 95, I took a teacher's assistant role at Jarman Junior High in Midwest City. Spent 1 year there. Moved over to Delcrest Junior High the next year, where I stayed and I taught from about 96 to 04 probably. In that time, while I coached at Delcrest, I also began coaching at Dell City High School, where I eventually moved to teach in 04. And I stayed there until I moved out to Choctaw, and I coached at Choctaw in what would have been, let's see, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, and 14, 15. So 20 years roughly in education as a teacher, as a coach. And as you all know, if you've ever coached a junior high, you've worn a lot of hats at that level.
Yes, sir.
But my biggest areas of focus were always football and wrestling. And that's what I did at Dell City. That's what I did at Choctaw. And then while at Choctaw, I entered into one of the educational leadership cohorts to earn my master's degree. And there, that, as I said, there in the spring of 15, I believe, let's see, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, yeah, 21, this position open. I applied. I was offered the job. I took it, and I've been here at the association since July 1 of 2015. So that's kind of how I got to where I am.
Well, Goose, I mean, you took a journey, but it seems like it's a journey that you like. And I know you've been around, young men, coaching, like you said, wrestling, football. I know when I decided to come to Choctaw, you was at Choctaw at the time, coaching wrestling and to get it going. I know, we kind of talked about what we had going with wrestling, what's going on with the females. You're gonna kind of tell us about that. With the females jumping off this year, kind of having a really first state championship. Kind of tell the listeners, the folks that's watching back home is going to watch the show here in a couple of days. What's going to jump off with the girls wrestling this year.
Well, Tony, and I would tell you guys, it's pretty exciting. When I took over in this position back in 15, as I mentioned, at that point in time, girls wrestling, for the most part in Oklahoma, was just kind of in its infancy. And it really didn't gain a lot of steam to have its own standalone side of the sport until a couple of years ago. And so what we knew was out there were some young ladies that wanted and wanted to do it against like opponents, which obviously is how it ought to be. And so we took the initial steps last year, and we kind of grew the sport as a exhibition of sorts. And I would tell you guys that when I started here, we had roughly, give or take 50, 55 schools that might have had one or more young ladies that were participating, but they were doing it against boys. And so last year, and while we do still allow that because of where we're at numbers wise, what we did last year was we started and we had that exhibition girls championship alongside the boys. Mm-hmm. And kind of last year it was come one, come all. Whoever wanted to enter, be in it, could show up and wrestle. And we made it work. And I thought it was a big success. But moving forward, they wanted to be deemed Oklahoma high school state champions. Some people might have said that last year. I'm not going to deny them the ability to say that, but officially this year, on February 25, we will have the first female state champions in the history of Oklahoma women's wrestling. And I think it's kind of interesting that while we're crowning champions in the 100th year on the boys' side, it's year one for the girls. So in an effort to get an equal number down there, as I said, last year it was come one, come all. This year we're actually having two qualifiers, one at Broken Arrow and one at Norman. Those are next Monday, February the 8th. And as we sit here and talk, our membership, 84 schools represented next Monday with at least one girl. And I made some notes here because I think, as I stated, 3-4 years ago, just a short time ago, we had 50, 55, 56 teams that had at least one girl. As I sit here tonight, we've got 17 teams with 5 or more. Now, I know that's not a great big number when you consider we have roughly 160 boys' schools, but Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yes, sir.
So we start where we start, and we look down the road with the end in mind. And so, as I said, 84 girls, or excuse me, 84 schools or teams, if you will, 17 of which have five or more, and then for a grand total, roughly of 250 girls that will be participating Monday. Of that, just like the boys, we'll have those are qualifiers. And as we do in 3A, 4A, 5A, and 6A boys, we have five qualifiers per weight for a total of 10 that come to the state tournament. We'll have the same for the girls. We'll have five qualifiers from the 100-pound East Regional and five qualifiers from the girls West Regional at Norman. And then on February 25th, we'll bring those 100 girls, 50 from each side of the state, and we'll have our first official women's state championship or girls state championship. Not only will we crown 10 champions, but we'll crown a team champion, and we'll also recognize the academic champions for the girls, just like we do for the 3A, 4A, 5A, and 6A boys. So from an association standpoint, we're excited. Again, I think COVID-19 probably has hindered maybe the growth as we might have hoped. But at the end of the day, like I said, we've got right around 250. That's about 125 in each. It's not exactly 125 in each, but close. Working to go to the state tournament and experience what our young men have experienced for what I say 100 years. So we're excited.
I know you kind of talk about five girls. So for the folks that don't know, like, wrestling, I know Ethan don't know that much about wrestling. He's learned more this season coming in. He's more of the basketball guy. But the folks that don't know about the five, can you explain to them what the fifth person is? Because they do a wrestle in, right, to get into the tournament, right?
Yep, a couple years back, and for many, many years of that 100, only 8 participants qualified for the state tournament at any given weight and class. And so, again, one of the initiatives brought to me by the advisory committee a couple years back was, Todd, we need to grow the state tournament. We need to take more than just 8 participants. And we've always wrestled for 5th and 6th place at the regionals, but that 5th and 6th place match was sort of anticlimactic because at the end of the day, the only opportunity that 5th or 6th place wrestler had to go forward was if something happened to one of the regional or state qualifiers at their weight in their particular regional. So, so what we did was I'm not going to lie and tell you they didn't want to take 6, but we agreed on 5, which brought us to a total of 10. And what we agreed to was that 5th place qualifier would essentially wrestle the 4th place qualifier from the opposite regional in what has basically become what is known as a wrestle-in match.
Yes, sir.
And I would tell you, and Tony, you would know this, being down there the last couple of years. This is our 3rd year, I believe, for that.
Mm-hmm.
3rd or 4th. I mean, golly, that's checking my age there when I forget things like that. But I think from the feedback that I've gotten, it's really made the state tournament quite quite exciting to
It's
start
exciting.
today. And because in reality, you can call it what you want. Some people call it I choose to look at the glass half full and call it a wrestle-in match. Some people call it an elimination match because the winner moves into into the tournament essentially, and the loser sees his season come to an end. So I really think probably if nothing else, what it has done, it has probably truly got the best 8 individuals in the bracket wrestling for medals. At
Yes,
least
sir.
that's what the feedback has been from most of the coaches. So while it's been an exciting time for the boys, it should be just that same excitement for the girls.
The girls, yeah. Well, Goose, that sounds pretty fun though. So that kicks off. Then the boys, you said they're going to kind of do a little different this year because the last couple of years, last 4 years I've been there, they've done it. A 2-day tournament with everything's going on with COVID. They've had to kind of change it up. Because it used to be everybody was down there at one time. From 6A all the way down to 3A or 2A. I don't know if 2A is wrestling or not.
3, 4, 5, and 6A.
Yeah, it all kind of went at one time at the fairgrounds, but now this year with everything going on, not having so many people there, you guys kind of changed the format a little bit. Can you explain to us how the format is going to be this year with the boys?
Well, I think that would go back if you think about people that attend the state tournament, on a normal year, you would find essentially 560 young men that begin the tournament representing their school in their particular class. You add a female division to that of 100 competitors, and you have 660. Well, I think given the current state of things, it just doesn't look very safe, presentable to put 660 wrestlers down there at any given time. So in an effort to create as safe of activity as possible, we have adjusted our postseason, not just state, but the regional tournament, the dual state tournament, etc. And so if I could, I'll just kind of start with the February 8th girls, just again to bring people, and I'll go through the dual state format again, just for that person that is familiar, that will learn something new. The girls, as I stated, will be February the 8th, Norman and Broken Arrow. And then in an effort to give us the best chance to get from one postseason event to the next, we have moved the regional tournament to Friday, February the 12th and Friday, February the 13th. That would have been in a normal year dual state. So we're going to put the regionals, and those will be at 8 sites, and I can give you those pretty quick. Like 6A East is Broken Arrow, 6A West Mustang, 5A East Tahlequah, 5A West Duncan, 4A East Skiatook, 4A West Clinton, and 3A, while not really east and west, it's more north and south at Blackwell and Plainview. And what we're going to do is, again, in an effort to try to be as safe as possible, we are going to wrestle 7 of the weights on Friday, start to finish, and the other 7 weights on Saturday, start to finish, to give us our 10 qualifiers for the state meet, which will be 2 weeks later on February 25, 26, and 27. And again, the girls will wrestle from start to finish at the state tournament on February 25th. Classes 4A and 5A boys will wrestle start to finish on Friday, February 26th. And the 3A and 6A boys championships will be Saturday, February 27th. And then we'll have another week break, if you will, and then we'll have the dual state championships up in Enid on March the 12th and 13th. And again, in an effort to be as proactive, given the current state of things, we're going to do it differently as well. For those listeners or viewers that are normally accustomed to seeing the quarterfinals wrestled back to back to back to back of all four classes on Friday, and then the semis and finals on Saturday. This year, we're going to break it down into sessions. So we're going to start with the 5A session on Friday morning, and we'll wrestle the quarterfinals, followed by the semis, followed by the finals for Class 5A. We will clear the venue, and then we'll come back in the all mid to late afternoon and wrestle the 4A quarterfinals, followed by the 4A semis and the 4A finals. And those two classes will be done for that day. That's it. Their event is concluded. And then we'll get to Saturday and we'll start the day with 6A and finish the day with 3A. So again, okay. Ethan might not know this, maybe he did or didn't attend. You've attended, I know, following Gabe and what have you. But we're going to be essentially limiting those settings in all of those postseason events to the most minimal people and crowd as possible. And again, every effort being put to allow these students to continue in as safe a format as possible.
So is there going to be like a limit of how many family members can come to the dual state and even the state championship too?
Okay. All of those will be limited. And again, I can tell you, just because I'm having these conversations daily. Our whole goal to the viewers out there is to allow these student athletes every opportunity to have their postseasons. Like you mentioned earlier, nothing was sadder last year than for the basketball finalists not to get to complete their season, the spring sport participants not get to complete their seasons. So we've tried to create every possible way for those students to get to have those events this year. If you've attended any events recently, if you go to a Tuesday night basketball game with Midwest City and Del City, it's going to have limited attendance. And that's the case whether it's in our smallest classes or the largest classes. It's just where we're at right now. Anytime you turn the TV on, you're either going to be viewing a sporting event that's consistent of no fans, or again, a small number of, and ours will be no different. My regionals, and again, if you're familiar with a number of the sites, some are bigger than others. So obviously, each individual site has its own specifications. So for the most part, at the regional competitions, most sites are going to be limiting the spectators to either 2 or 4 per student athlete, again, depending on the site limitations or site capacity, if you will. In most places, when they show up this year, you're going to find that if you take the 4A West Regional at Clinton, when a fan shows up, they're going to be have those facilities pretty well divide it off to where Team A will sit in this section of the arena, as will the fans that represent Team A. Team
Okay.
B, C, D, all the way around, again, in an effort to keep the social distancing to as best it can. Uh, Mask will have to be worn. Uh, Again, I mean, that's what they're asking of each of us right now. Do what we can to help mitigate the spread of the virus, and we want to do that. We want to do that with our membership and host sites to keep them in mind, and to allow these students to participate. Uh, I'm sure, obviously, when this particular show airs, we're still 3.5 weeks out from the state tournament, but I can only tell you that it's going to be limited. I mean, that's
Yes, sir.
just a given. And so, how can you best allow activity to continue given the circumstances and the parameters that you're faced with? You adjust your schedule. And I think you take 100 girls down there on a Thursday, uh, there'll be more than enough potential tickets available for everybody that wants to come. You take the boys' classes and you put 2 in there on a day versus 4, and then the girls. And again, you've helped yourself. So that will be the case for the state tournaments down at the fairgrounds. I can't tell you today what those limits will be. Because I think one thing we've learned over the course of almost a year is that every day's a new day.
Yes,
And
sir.
I think what we have prayed for daily is to give us the opportunity to get through today and get through to tomorrow. And as long as those measures are being put forth in front of us, we will adhere to those and give these kids the best opportunity to continue. And then when we get to dual state, obviously in March, hopefully with each passing day, more individuals are able to obtain the vaccine, and each day we move forward, it gets better each day. I think
Well,
that's the hope. And so I think to a sports fan, whether it's wrestling, whether it's basketball, whether it's cheer this past weekend that I went to, I think our hope is that people understand this is temporary. It's not permanent, and at the end of the day, whatever gives the student athletes the best chance to compete for these championships is they'll be respectful of that. And if it means for this year they have to view it on the network, that's what they'll do.
well,
Again, we understand it's not what any of us want. It's not what any of us wish for, but it is the state of the country and our state right now. So we adapt, adjust, and move forward.
well, Goose, I know you talked about that. One of the things you said is going to be limited with the OSSA. You being part of that, I know doing football, they kind of did you can watch the playoff games or you can watch the state championship games on TV. Are you guys going to offer that and maybe do it at a cheaper cost? Since a lot of people not. I'm putting a little bit of pressure because what we do here is keep it 100. I've been nice to you, but maybe not charge so much that hey, maybe hey, let's be nice and give it to everybody free.
Well, you put me on the spot. I can assure you that won't happen. But I would tell you again, for the sports fan out there, when you subscribe to the NFHS network, and they have the rights to all of our postseason activities. and I may be wrong here. If I'd have known you were going to give me that question, I would have
No,
went
no,
with
I
different
just hit you.
amount. But I think it's 10.95 is the subscription cost,
Yo, yeah, it's cheap, but
and that's for a month. I mean,
yes,
you
sir.
can, if you're a sports fan and you want to follow winter championship activities, that's going to give you. Uh, I know for a fact it'll give you the state championships in wrestling, which if you paid attention last year and weren't able to attend, we have cameras on every mat. So
Yes, sir.
if you're from Pawhuska, Oklahoma, and are unable to come down, you can follow all of 3A's championships right there. If you're just a wrestling fanatic that really has no allegiance to any school, but you want to start on Thursday and watch the girls from start to finish, and Friday start to finish, and Saturday, you've got it. And then fast forward to dual state, you can catch those matches. And then, hey, for good measure, if you want to follow some basketball in between, you can do that too, because your subscription to that network is going to get you all of the championship events that are being broadcast uh, for a month. So I get it's not ideal, but again, if you're unable to attend, or maybe you don't feel comfortable attending, then that's an option. And I think most of, and again, I can't speak for every basketball game, nor would I try, but I know I'm almost positive that we will provide the same coverage for wrestling that we had last year.
Well, Goose, another thing too on that, you guys are taking all this precaution and with keeping people out, but like doing each match, you start at the 106 pound. Are they going to clean each match after each 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 weight?
No, no, and again, I think I've been out just as you guys have been out, uh, whatever level that may be. Obviously, we will take additional steps this year. I've not been to an event yet where it was cleaned after every trip up the basketball court, or after every match, or after every play on the football field.
Yes, sir.
Uh, you know, what we'll do is we'll like at regionals, if you will, we'll have these the day kind of divided. While it's called session, I mean, that's essentially for the sake of the
Clean
coaches,
it.
the competitors, and the tournament managers. But if you take, we'll wrestle session one, which will consist of X number of matches, and then there'll be a 30-minute break to sanitize and the mats and what have you, and then we'll wrestle that next round, and then we'll have another uh, 30-minute break to again sanitize, clean, what have you, and we'll just do that periodically throughout. And every chance that we get there, we will take those precautions. But man, I don't know if you'd ever get to the end of the event if you clean that after every match.
Well, I just had to ask that question because you got that one parent out there that's gonna watch this show and she's gonna be like, "Is the match gonna be clean?" Because you start bringing everybody over from 5A, 6A. You start bringing all these different teams together, so you're gonna have that one parent or dad. Johnny Bo's gonna ask that question, so that's what I'm asking. But real quick, it seems like you guys got everything kind of lined out. And I know it's been a tough job for you and your crew doing this with with all the COVID stuff going on. Because even with the football, we kind of I thought you did a great job with the state championship. All games were played at UCO, and I don't know how much involved you are with that. Why was it all changed to UCO? Because I know that a lot of the Tulsa people are upset because they want it back up home. But I think being at Central Oklahoma, it's a great fit, and they're showing off that new stadium and that new facilities, what they're doing. So what kind of come to that to bring everything to UCO, all the state championship games.
Well,
Football.
I think again, I think there's a lot of misconception out there that this office just makes these decisions because that's what we want to do, and that's nothing could be further from the truth. And again, you're right. I am not directly involved with football because I'm doing volleyball in the fall. But the way that originated, that came from the Oklahoma Football Coaches Association. They wanted a single site that they could bring everybody to. It didn't necessarily have to be UCO, or I mean, it could have been a number of those, but they wanted it at a single site. They wanted to build that as a championship weekend per se. And so with that being said, that they brought that to the office. The office then took the kind of took the lead there, if you will. Probably, if I'm guessing, that probably went out to a survey of the football coaches, maybe the football playing schools, to gauge their interest. And then once they had the feedback that they felt was necessary, then it would, like many other activities, would be put out on some for bid, if you will, and your various entities could have put in for those games. And again, I don't want to get into too much detail on it because I typically don't like to say things that I don't have a firm answer on. But I can only imagine that UCO was selected because maybe they were one of a few that put in. Maybe the larger schools, if you will. I say larger, the OUs, the OSUs, the Tulsas. Who knows what may be going on in their world at that given time with the various conference championships and what have you. I think kudos to UCO. They have really taken that opportunity and wanted to make that a special event for those student athletes. I think, it'd be great, like you often see, everybody talks, well, in Texas, they do everything at AT&T Stadium, Jerry's World. Well, we don't have AT&T Stadium. We don't have Jerry's World. And while not ideal for some, if you will, I do think that much of the feedback that they've gotten over the course of 2 years has been favorable, has been positive. And I really think, that there's one thing we've often heard, and you hear it in this office. You tell us we're playing for a state championship, it don't matter where it's at, we'll be there, And I really think that's how most people feel. And I do believe, if you look at, like wrestling is down at the state fairgrounds, small school basketball, AB, 2A, 3A, 4A is down at the state fairgrounds. The large school basketball has traditionally been at the Maybe Center at ORU. So it kind of just brings things more to a central location. And I really think given time, you'll see that continue to grow and it can become a destination. You're right. Last year it was UCO. This year it's at UCO. Again, not totally familiar with all of the football world. Maybe it's there next year. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it has been an exciting time. And like if you're a football fan, you go up there and catch a couple, 2 or 3 games a day.
No, I love that. I love that format because back in the day they used to have now you got 6A1, 6A small, 6A big. But back in the day, you used to they had the games at Stillwater OU. They would have 5A played and 6A played that evening. But I just think last year, I mean this season here, you had big 6A play and small 6A play later that night, and they might switch back next year, big 6A play or whatever. However, but I thought the format was really good. I thought UCO did a really great job. The stadium held. I mean, it was really packed. With both games. With Edmond Santa Fe and then Jinx, and the later nights you had Bigsby and Tata playing for the state championship. I thought both games were, exciting. I mean,
Hey,
it could be.
I attended every game up there, starting with whatever game. I mean, now, I mean, again, my age is showing here. I forget, but I think the 6A, I know the 6A1 and 2 were both played on Saturday.
Yeah, both played on Saturday. Yeah,
and I can't
think
remember.
The 5A was played the following week. 5A was played. Carl Albert and Bishop McGinnis, I think, was played either that Friday night or Saturday the following week. Which, I mean, a great format. I thought,
yeah. And I can't remember if we had a game Friday night and then the 2 games Saturday. My mind, I've kind of gone blank there. But whatever the case was,
yeah, it was great venue.
And we actually, the playoffs, there was an extra weekend there. And boy, when you're talking about Oklahoma in December, you could get some nasty weather. But boy, we were blessed and
great
outside of a little bit of cold weather. If you're a football fan and a football player, it's probably perfect for them.
It's perfect night for football.
And all of the weekends, because it was 3 weekends there.
Yeah,
it was exciting.
Hey, you got anything for Coach? I mean, Mr. Goose, Coach Goose, OSS Goose. Well, that Goose is loose. Talk to him now.
Not really. I mean, not necessarily. Just kind of, I know a lot of those questions are going to come up about the OSSAA. I mean, the wrestling tournament. As far as protocols for that, and I think that answers just about everybody's questions, mine included. I don't know a whole lot about wrestling, but there was some questions and concerns I had, like how are we going to do this? Where is it going to be hosted? I mean, obviously, masks and social distancing are going to be a factor, but as far as on the mat and that whole aspect, but yeah, all those questions were answered. So
I mean, I think what you'll see again, if you go out and I will say, and I want to give props to the very people that we do what we do for, and that's the schools. Because without the schools and all of their attention that has been given this year to just day to day going to class, going to activities, there's been stops and starts, pauses. And I think it just goes back to their willingness and desire to allow their students and those communities to have something somewhat normal. And while the idea of masking and this and that is debate, it seems to be a topic for debate depending on where you are. Our people have for the most part, they've accepted it. They've understood this is what it's going to take to give us the best chance. And if you come to the state tournament, you're going to see the table workers with a mask. The officials are going to have a mask. The coaches are going to have a mask. And if you see me walking around, I'll probably have on 2 masks. That's just how things are, and we're going to make it. It's and we'll do, and in basketball too. Basketball will have its own unique. I know one of the things a little different maybe than wrestling, because ours is we're bringing them all together I say all finalists together to one site. We're going to break that down at the state tournament into 2 sessions, unlike Tony, and you know this from a wrestling standpoint, where you would go to regionals and it would be a two-day, 4-session event.
Yeah,
This year, regionals will be 1 session on Friday and 1 session on Saturday. And we'll have the little breaks I spoke of built into the day. But if you're going to go support your child and he's a 152-pounder, then you'll be there most likely on Saturday, and you're going to see him wrestle his first match and his last match, and he's going to go home, and it'll be unique to those kids. You won't have all of your teammates there supporting you, but again, we feel like this gives us the best chance to do what it is we want to do. You go to the state tournament, and we're going to run that thing. It'll be again, I go back to the past. It's been a 4-session event. Well, this year it'll be a 2-session for those folks in 6A or 3A and what we'll do. He's not real familiar with the wrestling, but we last year we had 10 mats down there for all 5 classes. Well, we'll have 8 mats this year, and what the format and the look will be, it'll look very similar, maybe a few subtle changes there, but where Class 6A has always wrestled on mats, we'll say 7 and 8. This year, 6A will occupy mats 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 3A will be over on the other side of the arena in mats 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the same for 4A and 5A. And then the girls, we'll start them off with the wrestle-in matches on 2 mats, and then we'll expand to 4 mats and come back to 2 mats. And then the other neat thing, I think, this year, where if you're the wrestling fan that's always gone down on Saturday night and watched the finals in all 4 or 5 classes with the girls, this year, because of the path we're going down, we'll wrestle the championship and consolation finals, in Class 4A on 2 mats on their side of the arena, and 5A will have 2 mats on their side. So the wrestling will look the same, but the format will be different.
a little different. But I think it's exciting what you guys are doing to get this to work. Like you said, last year, they didn't get to finish, the basketball. I mean, I know Del C had one of the top teams. There's a lot of good teams, Carl Albert. Some of these guys didn't get to finish. This year, they are going to get to finish, and you guys have done a great job putting this format together, from the wrestling to the basketball. And I know basketball's not really your deal, but do you have any kind of peek at what they're going to do with basketball, or is it going to be kind of the same format, or is it going to be way, way different too?
Well, I can tell you, you're right. I'm not the basketball guy, but I do go down there because I like sports and I enjoy seeing student athletes get to compete. That's always exciting. I think both of us, if you want to use the fairgrounds, I know the state basketball tournament has traditionally been a Thursday, Friday, Saturday event, and it's going to be a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday event this year. So there will be down, for example, at the fairgrounds, there will be more games played there than they've played in years past. Probably the same in the large school up at Mabee Center. I'm not 100% positive on that, but I know that, one of the things you've generally seen is you'll go down there and you might catch 3 or 4 games, and then you'll have a break, and then you catch 3 or 4 more maybe. But this year, they will be, to my understanding, in whether it be at the district level, the regional area level, the area level, they're going to be clearing those facilities in between every game. And again, you talk about the limitations, and so in an effort to give people the opportunities to come into those games that want to be at those games, they're going to have to do some different things there. But again, while not ideal, while not perfect, I think most people at least understand it's our goal to allow these students to finish what they start. And as I said earlier, I mean, I think, our prayers every day are to finish today and give us the opportunity to start tomorrow with the hopes of finishing that day. And it's just, and I know that's a lot of just life in general right now, but again, I give props or kudos to everybody out there that has done whatever it took to allow these things to
Make it happen.
be had. And it's like my academic bowl this week. I oversee the academic bowl, and our state championships are this weekend. And while academic bowl probably doesn't generate the level of excitement that a basketball game or a football game or a wrestling match does, I got news for you. It's exciting to those students that participate, and it's
Yes, sir.
exciting to those parents that have those students. And that's one thing, just because of, we've generally had that at Redlands Community College out in El Reno, and they didn't allow any outside activities on their campus. So I was fortunate to move that over to Rose State for this year, but Rose State only wants the students to be in attendance. So,
Yeah.
that's kind of one of those things. That's the give and take that we're having to deal with. But again, while maybe not 100% accepted, 95, 96%, we get it. And so again, the kiddos can go chase down that championship that we offer, then good for them. And I did want to say something, because I think it's worth mentioning. A lot of our surrounding states have had no high school activities this year.
Yes, sir.
We, as of this conversation, have recognized 42 different team champions thus far this year. Get through this weekend and we'll be at numbers 43, 44, 45, 6, 7, and 8. So almost every award that should have been given out has been. We've had some in some of our music areas that haven't, and maybe some of the non-athletic areas have not, for whatever reason. Maybe primarily because we've just lost a lot of our host sites. A lot of people aren't. They just don't feel comfortable. So we've had, we've been having to navigate that as well. But yeah, I think again, when you watch this and you view this and you're out and about, you probably, as just a person, need to be thankful, grateful for what you have, thankful that your kids are getting to go to school if they are, and always thank those administrators, coaches, and people that are really going to a lot of extreme measures this year for our kids. And when I go to games or what have you, I try to always find the person that I know is in charge and thank them for everything they're doing, because again, they too have families, and they too
Yes.
have concerns. And so I just, I try never, ever, ever to take for granted anything that opportunities that I am given, or chances to be out there and follow these kids because, like you said, in one night last year kind of brought everything to a halt.
Yeah, the
And
Thunder game.
and I can remember, just like it was yesterday, where I was at when I got the alert that the Thunder game had been temporarily postponed, which came into cancellation. And I can remember coming to this office on Thursday morning, that day in March, with my tie on, my sport coat in hand, and I was headed to I don't remember which site I was selected to go to for basketball, but I went home at about 4 o'clock that day, and the hope was we'd be back at it. We knew it wouldn't be tomorrow, Friday, if you will, or probably Saturday, but we certainly were hopeful it would be the next week or two. And then the next thing you know, we're all just scratching our head going, what's next,
Yep.
So again, yeah, you're right, trying times, but I think in a lot of ways, we're going to all find that when we reflect and look back that, we're going to see some things, probably some areas that we can all improve going forward. So just very grateful for everything that everybody's doing. Again, regardless if it's athletic related or not, I get it's not ideal, but it's trying times, and sometimes it's those times that we truly see, what's important in life. And
Yes, sir. It's bigger than sports, I mean, you got people, pass away from this, and then I tell you, it's been a up growing up the hill. But I tell you one thing, as you can see, with the vaccine coming out, it's starting to turn the corner. I mean, I know UCO kind of talked about next year they're going to have everybody back in the classroom, and I know, me and you both having and Ethan all been, having freshman kids in college. They haven't really got to experience the college life, man. I mean, talked to my son just the other day, both. And I mean, they're not getting to do nothing on campus. They're supposed to wrestle this weekend. I talked to you earlier. They canceled it. So it's crazy because, you're not getting the things you want to do and you're in college and enjoy the college of, 4 to 5 years. It's supposed to be some of your funnest times and meeting new people from all over the world. High school, you got your same buddies you're going to see every Monday through Friday. But college, you meet people from all over and they're not getting to experience that. So I hope, Maggie and Gabe and Ethan, they get to experience that because it has been tough. And I know I did get lucky. My boys did get to finish both of their sports last year, football and wrestling. And, and then they got, shut down, kids with no track and no, basketball, soccer, and all the other, summer sports. But Goose, like I said, it's been a pleasure having you on here. I know you're a busy man, especially right now with everything going on, with basketball, wrestling, and everything's coming down to the last few weeks. But I do want to ask one question. Did you guys ever think about moving the wrestling outside, being, when it's in March, being a little bit warmer? I know Hera did a couple match duels outside. Did you guys ever think about that, or would that just kind of not into play?
Rest assured that my mind is going about 90 to nothing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah, I think, I could use a number of places, but you could choose Taft Stadium if you wanted to use that as an example. And I think, if given if the climate were more suitable and you could be a little bit more maybe proactive in front of, but as we all know, it's not uncommon. 2 years ago, I think, or two or 3 years ago, it was all I could do to keep my fingers crossed that the truck delivering the mats was going to get here because of the inclement weather that we were experiencing. And yeah, I think if Oklahoma had a little different climate, and you could guarantee that you could do it outside, heck yeah, it'd be great. I mean, you're right. Hera had done that earlier, had a perfect night. I remember thinking, boy, how ideal. I saw some pictures that somebody had posted wherever from an event in Florida. And yeah, I think given the perfect climate and all, that'd be wonderful, be exciting. Uh, but it is what it is, you know. Uh, I'm just trying to get through, honestly, uh, Monday, February the 8th. And if we can look back at sometime Monday night and we've got 100 young ladies that have punched their ticket to the state tournament, then I'm going to put that's kind of, as someone might say, that's one feather in your cap that you're just trying to, you know, first I want to get through Saturday and see those 48 teams get to compete for their interest in academic bowl, and then I'll turn my attention to the girls regional on Monday, and then we'll proceed into the weekend. But again, I just, you know, like I said, you've said it, Ethan said it, you know, what everybody had to deal with in the spring, and especially for those seniors, and boy, I mean, it just, you know, it was just so, I can remember sitting at home just thinking, you know, all of the end of year activities that my Maggie won't ever get to have been a part of, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
and you know, it just I don't know, it just allowed me at 55 years of age to really kind of take a look at myself and look at the family and just say, you know, man, gosh, just be so thankful for everything that you have, because
Yes,
boy,
sir.
in just that quick, they lost it all. So, you know, yeah, I work at the OSSAA, and yes, I can walk down the hall and I can look at championship trophies, but you know, I think at the end of the day, at the high school level, it's all about just the memories and the opportunities, and
And
if you're
friendship.
fortunate while doing so to win a championship, so be it. But I think at the end of the day, it's just about those little things. And and
Little
and
thing.
I think you talk to anybody that was a senior last year and may not be able to go and may not be in college competing. You know, I think they'd say, you know, if I could just go back and play, you know, one more game or one more match or one more concert, boy, I'd give anything to do that. So, you know, I just hope that everybody just realizes, you know, there's a lot to learn, a lot to be learned and gained from participation in high school activities, whether it's athletic or non-athletic. They all serve a purpose. And,
True.
you know, I just applaud everybody that's out there, parents, grandparents, coaches, student athletes, students. Just I applaud them all for everything they're doing to just, you know, try to make this year as normal as can be.
Well, Goose, like I said, we really appreciate it. You know, coming on, keeping it 100, Oklahoma high school sports. We're probably the only sports cast that had you. I know OK Prep ain't had you on talking about this or the fight, but none of those guys. But that's what we do here, Goose. We want to have the main man, like you told me the other day. Don't have fake news, get the real news, and that's why we had the Goose on. Goose, I really appreciate
Yeah.
it. Before I let you go, though, I got to ask you a couple things, though. There's nothing bad. I know your oldest daughter's getting married. Are you excited about that?
Yep, yep. You know, that's another, speaking of, and I don't know how long your broadcast is. I guess it's as long as you guys want to let it be. But, you know, that's one individual right there that, you know, due to the fallout of the pandemic last year, you know, like so many other people, she found herself unemployed, had moved to Texas, was doing pretty well in her job down there, and got the call one day that her services were no longer needed. But in light of that young lady took it upon herself. I think she got laid off in April, and she was fortunate that she had a college degree and wanted to follow in her parents' footsteps and get into education. And she got laid off on a Monday or Tuesday, I believe. And by Wednesday afternoon, had enrolled herself in a Teach Across Texas program. And it was a grind, but in August she was teaching school, and now she's still working towards some final accreditation deals. But yeah, living down there in Texas, getting married in June, and she couldn't be happier. We couldn't be happier, and just fortunate that she's got her a good young man, and
That's good.
he's got his feet on the ground and his priorities in the right headed in the right direction. And the two of them, I think they'll be real happy. So yeah, proud and excited for her.
All right, Goose. Next $1 million question I gotta ask you: if Maggie and Gabe Johnson gets married, are you paying for the wedding? So I'll need to know.
Well, I mean, Tony, unfortunately, I'm finding out with the oldest that just comes with the territory. I mean, I don't know whoever decided that the female had to foot all those bills, if you will, but I guess I will. And one thing I do ask Maggie all the time. I always ask her if UCO's had a match or wrestled, and she says, "Well, how would I know?" And I said, "Well, you and Gabe communicate all the time. I need updates."
That's
So,
it. That's it.
matter of fact, she's called me about 3 or 4 times during this interview, so no telling what she's got cooking tonight, but probably want to know if I want to go to a game of some sort or something.
Well, that's good stuff. I know he's probably gonna kill me for saying it, but I always try to tell him, man, you gotta marry that Maggie. She's tall, she's beautiful, son, and you're missing out, boy. I try to tell him, hard head makes a soft butt. But Goose, like I said, I really appreciate you coming on with us, man. It's been fun. Like I said, I love you. I love the wife, man. I mean, I don't get to see you as much because I'm not at the high school events, but I know here in a few more years, I have Zoe up there at the high school, so I know I'll be seeing you a little bit more. I know Ethan's excited, man. It's pretty cool to have an OSSAA guy come on and talk to us. It's tickled because a lot of people won't do this, and we are good enough to do this. And I don't know if you heard, Goose, what Keep It 100 is going to do this year. We're gonna take $500 for the spring and for the fall semester and give it to a young man or lady that needs it and help pay for their books or something, some kind of way towards their tuition from Keeping It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports, because I'm not all about the money, and neither is Ethan. We're just here trying to provide a good sportscast, talking to young men and women that's trying to get out there. We really want to push the women's athletic big time. I know right now with the pandemics, I haven't got a chance to go out and do a lot of the basketball games, especially some of the girls' game. But maybe I can in the next few weeks. But it's been so crazy, and everybody's been kind of, a lot of these teams has had, they'll play one night and 2 weeks later they're shut down. So it's been kind of tough. But in the spring season, we're gonna get out and get in front of some of the football teams and kind of talk about their up and coming guys and who they got on their map for getting recruited, because our biggest thing is getting guys' names out there that's not getting their names out there. And these high school coaches got a lot of things they got to do themselves. Like you said, it's a lot of work. You work pretty much every day. Even the days you're off, you're still working, trying to put this format together. But like I said, once again, we're excited about you coming on the show. E, you got anything to say, Mr. Goose, before he gets off here?
No, not much. I think you covered everything. So,
well, I would tell you guys, and it took Todd Goolsby coming to this office to truly realize just how many good stories are out there in this state. When you coach or are associated for 20 years with Class 6A, you really don't even know there's about 450 other schools out there, you know.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
the membership's 478 schools strong from every corner of the state, 77 counties. So there's just a lot of good going on in this state. I like I said, I'll resonate it. It took me coming here to truly appreciate just each person involved with high school activities. Notice I didn't say athletics, but activities, because we've got, if I told you there's 50,000 students involved in athletics in Oklahoma, there's 60,000 that are involved in some activity at their school. So there's just a great number of students, coaches, administrators, educators, and people associated with high school activities all over the state. So anytime I can be of assistance or help clear something up, you've got my phone number, and you know how to get in touch with me.
Yes, sir. Like I said, once again, thank you for coming on. Tell Ms. Goolsby I said hi. The family I said hi. And like I said, this show will be dropping the next couple of days, and we'll let you know. And maybe we can do it again when all this is said and done and we're back up and running.
Sure. No problem at all. I appreciate you guys having me on.
All right.
Yeah, we
Thank you.
appreciate
Great
you too.
evening.
All right, guys. Thank
Thanks,
you.
sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Folks, that's Mr. Goolsby, man, and we're lucky to have him on the show. Look like he's sitting back there in the dark, chilling, got his earbuds in, man. We're doing the show a little different tonight, man. I mean, we had a little caution, we're just trying to be safe with everything's going on, make sure no one gets sick. But like I said, no matter what goes on, we're gonna make this show happen. Sick,
Absolutely.
down, hurt, bed. One thing about us, we're always gonna have keep it 100 going. So much going on, like you heard him saying, man. I mean, his job right now is probably, nerve wracking with so much stuff going on with with all the COVID. It's so crazy because UCO was supposed to wrestle this weekend. I was gonna get to see my son wrestle live, and he got a call last night from him. Zoe calls him, trying to figure out what time's gonna start and all that. Friday night, my mom's gonna go. We're all pumped up to go watch him wrestle live, and get a call, and he says, 9 guys on the team is, kind of tested. There've been, caution. I don't know if anybody got it, but you got it quarantined. So that tells you all they're supposed to wrestle. Friday night, then they're supposed to wrestle Saturday afternoon. Number 2 team in the nation, they're number 3. So there's been some good wrestling, and everything's going same thing going on with basketball. You know what I'm saying? I know. Talked to one of my buddies today. His son, wrestles for Broken Arrow. He's trying to win a state championship, Jared Hill. And I was kind of talking to him, and he was first thing he was kind of saying is like, man, I'm going to keep my kid locked in the house for the next 3 weeks, because last thing you want to do is not win a state championship because you got COVID, or you got around somebody that had COVID. Now you can't wrestle and you're locked down. So you're in your senior year not wrestling. You could have won state. So it's crazy. I'll tell you right now, man. It's
for sure.
It's whack. E, what else going on, man? I mean, I see you sitting there with you got your OU stuff in the background, man. It's a little different.
Well, first things first, I'm gonna go turn on my light. It's a little too dark in here, so I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, I didn't know what was going on, man. I know the lady's gonna be like, "What's going on with Big E? He ain't trying to show his cute face. Come on now, what's going on?"
Nothing going on with me. Just taking some precautions. Somebody in the household started showing symptoms, so taking precaution. That's why we're on Zoom today. Just want to keep everybody safe. But not much going on in my life. I've been playing a lot of Madden lately, just because there's no football going on right now. Super Bowl's coming up this weekend. Not too happy about that. My Packers got beat out by Tom Brady and his boys, but we got.
I mean, that's what happens, though. I mean, Brady's a winner, man. They don't call him the GOAT for nothing, man. Him and Patrick Mahomes. I kind of picked both games that I picked the Chiefs to win against Buffalo, and I picked Tampa Bay to beat Green Bay. At Green Bay is a tough place to play, especially in the cold. They had a little bit of fans, but I tell you, man, as you can see, the world is starting to turn back around. The vaccines are coming out, man, and everybody that I know, I hear a lot of people, I'm not gonna go get that, man. If you got a chance to go get it, man. Let's get the life back together, man. Because it's so. I mean, everybody's kind of used to wearing a mask. We've been wearing it almost a year now, so.
Yeah.
Excuse me, you got kind of used to wearing it, but I tell you, man, you love want to still see somebody's face. So, man, I was at a count today and ran into a guy that used to work with us, and he's not with us no more, and he's with a different company. And I got my mask on, and I recognized him. He didn't recognize me, and he was like, "Yeah," I said his name, and hey, we got to talking. He's, "Man, I recognize you with the mask," but it is kind of, it is kind of weird. But I got to the point. I think we're kind of at the point everybody's kind of used to wearing it. At first, I hated it, but now I catch myself driving down the street with my mask on, so ain't
Right.
nobody in the car with me. But I think I've gotten used to it, and I'm an older gentleman, I'm being a diabetic, so one of the things I don't want to get it because I've seen it hit some people and tear them up, man, and some people
Yeah.
get it, some people don't. Everybody got it. It's kind of affected a little bit different. I know my daughter caught it, she's 10 years old, and I watch her be down for 3 or 4 days, and I'll be the first to tell you, man, this is the real truth. When Zoe got it, we went to Wichita, after she came off of it, and she's a great little athlete, but as you watched her, man, she wasn't the same after she came, getting it. I think last Friday night
Yeah.
we had a game, and she finally looked like Zoe again, quickness.
Yeah.
I thought she was a half a step slow when we was in Wichita in the last couple of games we played in, but she kind of turned around. But I think it does take a bearing on people.
Yeah.
Man.
It takes a
People,
while to recover. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
it does though. But with high school basketball going on, man, I know PC's West lost a couple of games, Choctaw's lost some games, man. And I tell you right now, man, you're fighting for seeding, you're fighting for all that stuff, man. And I tell you, I know he didn't get too much in the seedings because he's not part of that. But I tell you right now, man, it's these next couple of weeks is going to be wild.
Yeah.
I could see a team like a Del C's kind of got hot right now. That Kingfisher Carl Albert game was a pretty good game the other night. I didn't get a chance to make it. Zoe had a game Friday night, but I heard Kingfisher got 2 studs, man. One's going to OU, one's going to North Texas. I just said, I talked to some
that's
people.
One of those games that I tried to go out to, but I'll be honest. I took a nap. I was tired, and I woke up, and the game it was already halftime by the time I woke up. So
it happens, though, man. Folks, I keep kind of playing with the screen, man. So if we're kind of a little bit jacked off, and you can hear we're kind of went over our time. If you can hear in the background, Zoe got piano lessons tonight, and that's what we do. We always keep her busy. If she ain't hooping, she's using them fingers on those keys. So she might be the next Zoe Alicia Keys. That's how we do it. We keep it 100 here. It's been fun doing it on the Zooms. It's different, but I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a little different, but it's fun,
Yeah, Goose is it's good to have him on, man. A guy from OSSAA to come on and join our show. That's big time. People that's out there that's going to watch this show. I know all of us is kind of long-winded, but I'm just saying to sit there and have a guy like him to come on a show like this and talk about what's going on with everything. It's a blessing for us, keeping it 100. We still got many more people that can come on the show that, it was good. And I sent a text out to him and I kind of asked him, hey, kind of explain to us what's going on. He hit me back and he said, man, I just watched your show. You need show. You got some fake news. I'm gonna keep it real, and that's what we want. We want you to keep it 100. I'm not gonna get on here and talk to him, about what's going on in the recruiting world. That's not his department, so not gonna hit him on that. I know there's a lot of stuff. Me and him kind of talked offline about some stuff that it's so funny because a lot of people think they know what's going on, and when he kind of explained to me, it's kind of true because. Recruiting goes on every school. Every school is getting kids to come in, that's just part of it. And that's it. And when the thing is about it, it starts in the NFL, it starts in college, and then it just triples down all the way down. A kid looks at it and goes, hey, man, I can go here and win a state championship. What kid wouldn't want to have a ring on his finger? What kid wouldn't want to be on part of a winning tradition? That's just how it is, man. So you can't, you can knock the high school coaches for doing it, but everybody's doing it. So guess what? Everybody's a cheater, all cheaters, do you like it? No, I had a chance, pack my boys up and move. I didn't. We grinded it out. We ended up having a hell of a year at Choctaw, going 8-4. EU's part of that. And guess what? Now it's kind of got the train going, and now they're getting better. They go better in 8-4. They went 9-3, made it to the championship game. Kyle Albert, the last 15. They won 15, 16 championship. Are they doing the right things over there, keeping kids to stay over there and not leave? That's something that you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, are we doing the right things? Not taking that from Coach Corley and other coaches over there, but are you doing everything to get these kids recruited? Because you got a bunch of kids, but a lot of them going to college or not. You win 15, 16 state championship. how many kids they really put in college. You got teams that hasn't won a state championship, sending kids to college. Congratulations to Donnie Wingate. Getting the
Yeah, absolutely. For a walk on to TCU.
Walking to TCU. I mean, I think the kid
Yep.
earned a scholarship in a few years. Good luck to
Absolutely.
him.
Yeah.
I think I saw McConnell say he's going to come down with some stuff. Said he's going to sign that. I know he's got another offer from Tulsa. SMU. He got some options though. I'm a Tulsa fan. I'm an SMU fan. I know he got some Power Fives, but at the end of the day, you want to look at a place like Goose says, getting that education is the most important thing. His dad, mom's both pretty smart, so you'll start seeing a lot of things. We'll start getting into a lot of these kids fixing to be seniors. Start talking to them. Some of the kids around. I got a chance to talk to Coach Don the other day. We probably had about an hour conversation. I'll probably get out to Dell City and watch some of their practice. I'm always in good touch with Midwest City. Still got Zoe got some kids that's moved in from a little bit from Carl Albert, a little bit from Norman. He got some sons that moved in, so he'll make a run next year at Westmore. And that's what it's all about, though, folks. You got to bring the kids in to win. If you don't win, guess what? They're gonna send you packing down the road. So you got to win.
Absolutely.
So we'll cover more basketball in the next few weeks. Wrestling. We had Peyton on. Hopefully she can bring home the state championship. Like he said, this year will be really, really first state championship. Even though she won last year, if she wins all four, she's still gonna be a four-timer. They're not gonna call her three-timer. But this year's really, really the format, how they're doing. You got to wrestle in and all that. If you guys never seen a wrestle in, it's pretty cool. We had a kid last year named Speedy, Cade Wallen, call him Speedy. He did it last year. Came in. He got beat in the finals. He took the deal and went in as the fifth seed or fourth seed, whatever he did, and wrestled, just get on the opposite side of the bracket and made it to the finals. Wrestled his butt off, man, and it's cool to see that because, like you said, you could be the number 4 seed, wrestle that number 5 seed. You're supposed to be better than that kid. That kid beat you. Guess what? You out. He took your spot. So now he got a chance to go win the state championship. You're over there eating popcorn, gaining weight, getting ready for next season. Eve, before we close the show, I know it's been a little bit longer one, but it's been fun though, man. Anything on your mind?
Just a little thing. There was a story that came out today. Jeremiah Johnson,
Yes,
member of the PCO basketball team, he was in critical condition after getting shot. I just want to send out my prayers and condolences to his family. On the latest update, it's saying that doctors have a positive outlook for him, and looks like he's going to make a full recovery. He's in good shape right now from what I'm reading right now. So, but anyways, prayers and condolences out to him. So
yeah, E, do you know what happened on that? Is it game related or anything?
I don't know.
I'm not trying to speculate anything, but I'm just saying one thing. I want to
look.
shout out to you young men. If you're involved in a sport and you're doing something, you got a great path going in front of you. And I don't know nothing about this kid. I'm just telling you as a father to any kid out there that's my kid or not my kid. But if you got something really positive going your way, man, sometimes you got to get away from that crowd. Sometimes you got to be the bigger man and say, hey, man, I love you guys. You're always going to be my boys. But I got this path I want to take. This kid got a chance to go play college basketball, football, whatever he plays. I mean, seemed like a great athlete, I mean, it's just sad to see what happened. I don't know what happened. Yeah. And I'm just could be speculating a little bit, but I'm saying to be around somebody that's shooting, you had to be in the wrong area. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't in class. You was somewhere you wasn't supposed to be. I'm gonna tell you, like Mom used to tell me, you shouldn't have had your butt there and you shouldn't have been there. But I'm just saying, I hope the kid can, and other young men that sees this, like I said, my baby over there playing the piano. But if other people can see this, man, please take the right path. Not saying he took the wrong path, but man, please be in the right place and don't get caught up in some. It might not even been him. It could have been one of his homeboys getting an argument with somebody. They come out shooting, and guess what? When people start shooting, they just shoot. They ain't shooting this, hey, I'm gonna hit this guy. They ain't trying to shoot at anybody. So anything that you kind of know about that, E?
I don't know anything about it. I just remember I woke up this morning, I get on Twitter and I see that he was in critical condition early this morning. I didn't read into it to know like what motivated the shooting, factors and all that. But I think the most important thing right now is making sure that he's going to be okay, make a full recovery, and hopefully be able to, get back to playing basketball. I mean, he was only a sophomore. I mean, really young kid. Got a whole life ahead of him. So thankful that, looks like God's working right now, bringing him through this. But hopefully, if not this season. He'll be back at it next season. But yeah.
That's a good deal, though, man. One thing we should have told Goose, though, because he kept talking about those masks and clearing out the deal. We should have told him about what? Proactive.
Proactive protect.
Could have got all that stuff clean, and he ain't got to worry about clearing
Yep.
nobody out. Everybody could have sat there the rest of the whole, all 4 sections, or all 6 sections, whatever, how many sections they had. He would use proactive protection. But hey, man, I appreciate you doing the Zoom. Hopefully next week
Yep.
we can be back sitting next to each other talking about the girls who made it to the finals. Talk about the boys regional coming up. You know what I mean? So the next couple of weeks we're gonna have some good topics. You know, with high school wrestling and basketball. I tell you right now, 5A, 6A. You know, 4A seems like Kingfisher's the team to beat, but you never know, man. Depends on who gets hot at the right time. But right now, I would say Kingfisher is the top dog of 4A, 5A, and 6A, knocking off Carl Albert. I know they've knocked off some 6A teams, but kudos to that coach down there to keep doing a great job with Kingfisher. Kingfisher's known for football, but now they're known for basketball too. But that's how it is, though, man. And like I said, it's wide open to anybody in 6A. I'm telling you, you can probably put your hand in the cookie jar and pull out a team and say, oh, this team's going to win state, because I don't know who's going to win 6A. You know, that's the way it's going to be, because Dell City's hot right now, and that's what it's all about, getting hot at the right time. But hey, folks, we love you. Thank you for joining another great episode of what?
Keep it at 100, Oklahoma high school sports.
No matter where we at, we always going to keep it 100. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, you too, man.
We'll see you next week. Keep it
See
100,
you, man.
Oklahoma high school sports. See ya!
See ya.